Am I the jerk for making fun of my girlfriend for writing fanfiction and claiming it's actual writing? My girlfriend, Abby, female 31, and I, male 33, have been together for a few months, and this Easter, I was going to introduce her to my family. We haven't moved in together yet. Abby is quite smart. She has a PhD and works in her field. I only have a bachelor, so you can imagine my surprise when a hot and smart woman wanted to date me. Anyway, I digress. Abby's passion is writing, although she's never allowed me to read anything she wrote. She dreams of writing a book and says she's practicing and trying to draft things. One day, I was staying over and fell asleep, and she went to her office to write. When I woke up, I peered over her shoulder when she was writing and saw names that sounded familiar. I asked her about this, and sure enough, she admitted to writing fanfiction. Apparently, she already wrote 100k fanfiction and is working on her third one. She says it's writing practice and she loves it. I told her it's scringy, and if she was serious about her book, she'd write it by now because she's pretty much already written 2 books, if only they weren't fanfiction. She got silent and told me to leave her alone. When I introduced her to my family, I mentioned that she has a PhD. My brother and sister got impressed and asked about it. Abby tried to tell them, but I interjected and told them to not be so impressed because she wastes her time writing silly fanfiction, so I don't know how she even got her doctorate. It was meant to be a joke, but Abby was angry. She called me a jerk. She wouldn't talk to me for the rest of the day and asked me to drive her home. I tried to come in, but she told me she wanted to be alone and write her fanfiction. I told her she was childish but left anyway. I haven't heard back from her since then, and I told my sister, and my sister agreed with Abby. I tried to call Abby, but she texted me, jerk, and nothing else. My sister thinks I owe Abby an apology, but I don't think I did anything wrong, and yet, Abby is annoyed. You're the jerk. Fanfiction is writing. Ever heard of 50 Shades of Grey? That series started as Twilight fanfiction. You were rude, insulted her writing hobby, her degree, and her intelligence. Yes, you really were a massive jerk, and I think this is a case where you don't realize it yet, but you're already an ex. I mean, Dante's Inferno is technically a self-insert fanfiction of the Bible, isn't it? Am I the jerk for demanding my girlfriend tell me her author's pen name? I, male 32, have been dating Siobhan, female 32, for 6 months now. She's always been very vague about what she does for a living, citing things like writing and working from home writing, but recently, one of her friends mentioned something and I finally dragged it out of her. She's an author. She writes and self-published romance and erotica stories and novels, and while not rich, she's able to make a living out of it. I googled her name and couldn't find anything, so I confronted her about this. She said she's writing under a pen name, so I demanded she give it to me so I know what she does. She refuses, saying she doesn't want it to be leaked even by accident and no one knows. I accused her of not trusting me and she still refused, which was really annoying. I tried a nicer approach and told her that I want to know her fantasies so I can try it out with her, and she told me that what she writes aren't her fantasies but her readers, and she's still not going to tell me. At night I tried to check her laptop for her pen name, but she changed her password before bed. I was annoyed and told her she clearly doesn't trust me and it's not fair because I have a right to know what she writes, especially since it's a sensitive topic and I don't know her if I don't know her pen name. She was furious. I tried to look at her laptop and told me to go home. Before leaving I told her when she calls to apologize, I expect to get her pen name with the apology. She called me a jerk on my way out. I thought she'd call by now, but she hasn't. My sister told me I was the jerk and I should apologize, but I just don't see it and need to. Second opinion. Was I the jerk? You're the jerk. Well, you're just a walking red flag op, demanding, controlling, and feel like it's your right to snoop. That's just grim. Enjoy being single. You're the jerk. You come across as someone who would threaten to rage leak her name every time she displeased you. Am I the jerk for asking my girlfriend to watch my favorite movies with me? Throwaway, because last weekend was my, male 28, birthday. My girlfriend, female 25, had asked what I wanted to do and I said I wanted to watch my favorite movie trilogy, Lord of the Rings. I don't think my girlfriend was thrilled, but she didn't say anything and agreed. She has seen them before and I don't think she really likes them very much, but she knows I love them, so she doesn't really say anything. Besides, they aren't really her thing. But I really wanted to make a day of watching them and I went over to her house because she has a really big comfortable couch. About 10 minutes into the first movie and I look over and she is browsing on her phone. I was a little miffed but didn't say anything. She basically scrolled through her phone the entire movie. When we started the second movie, she opened a bottle of wine and proceeded to drink the whole thing, while still sitting on her phone. I was pretty irritated at this point because she wasn't even paying attention at all. The third movie started and by then she had opened another bottle of wine and was asleep within the first 20 minutes. I was really mad at that point and just left and went home. A few hours later I got a text asking where I went. I told her I was mad that she couldn't pay attention to my favorite movies on my birthday. She told me I was a jerk and to grow the hell up. I've texted her a couple times but she hasn't responded. Am I the jerk? You're the jerk. She's seen them before and she didn't like them, yet she agreed to be there with you while you watch them on your birthday without complaint. Why does it matter if she's paying attention? What do you gain from that, except the validation of forcing someone to pay attention to something you like for however long that bloody trilogy is? I mean, that is not a small amount of time she dedicated to being there with you, despite you both knowing she would get nothing from it. You are kinda ungrateful and controlling. Not to mention the way you just let yourself get angrier and angrier about it, until you stormed out without saying anything. She's right. You could stand to grow up. You're the jerk. I want you to just think for a minute a movie that you watched that you really did not enjoy. Now, imagine that your girlfriend asked you to watch that really long, what's it like 7-8 hours, movie for her birthday. If you can honestly tell me that you wouldn't fidget, fall asleep, get on your phone or zone out to think of something or anything else during that movie, then you're the most patient person on the planet and I commend you, sir. But the fact is that you picked an activity you knew your girlfriend would not enjoy and then wanted her to sit, raptly entranced by the wonder that is Lord of the Rings for a really long time. She was sitting with you. She was doing quiet activities. She wasn't making fun of the movie or saying how stupid it was. That would have made her the jerk. She wanted to spend time with you even though the activity you picked wasn't something she enjoyed. I absolutely loathe sports on the TV, but I sit with my partner while he watches it and crochet or read while it's going on. It doesn't mean I don't like him. In fact, it means I really like him that I want to be near him enough to put up with football. Try to see it that way. Your girlfriend likes you enough that she'll sit by you while you watch something she doesn't like. Edit from OP. This has really blown up and I've gotten a little overwhelmed, but I do accept that I was the jerk. Watching 9 hours of movies that she hates was definitely too much of an ask and I shouldn't have reacted the way I did. I just took it personally, because I felt like she didn't even try and these movies are important to me. The fact that she isn't much of a drinker and drank this much kind of set me off. I called and left her a voicemail apologizing. Am I the jerk for telling my girlfriend that I told her so after one of her male friends tried to get with her? My girlfriend and I have been together for about a year now. My girlfriend has more than a few guy friends, and I'm not one of those guys that thinks men and women can't be friends. However, with two of these guys, it's very clear that they want more than just friendship from her. Like clear as day to the point where I don't get how she doesn't see it. If I can notice just by the weird energy they try to exude when I'm present, she should be able to get to right, wrong. Anytime I have pointed this out, she gets upset with me. She tells me that I am being jealous and reading into things that aren't there. I argue back that I'm just letting her know, and as a guy, I can probably tell much better than she can since women tend to be a little slow regarding things like this. So 2 nights ago, she was hanging out with her friends and this guy was present. From what she told me, they were all drinking and he said some things that implied he'd want to be with her. She was made uncomfortable by this and the night ended shortly after. Fast forward to yesterday morning. She got a series of texts apologizing for what he said, and then backpedaling and saying he would treat her so much better than me and she's wasting her time with me. She of course said no and was upset with him. After she told me, I just read the texts and simply said, "Wow, who could have seen this coming?" a bit sarcastically. This set her off and she got mad. She said that I was being such a huge asshole to her and she had no way of seeing this coming. She's been pissed at me since. Am I the jerk? You're the jerk. So someone made your girlfriend uncomfortable, overstepped boundaries, she did everything right, told him to get lost, and instead of comforting her and make sure she is okay, you scold her? Are you insane? She lost a friend and was harassed, and you tell her she deserved it? Huge jerk. You're the jerk. It's a big betrayal when this happens. It sucks to realize that you care about someone as a friend and they've not only had ulterior motives, but are actively willing to assert that you don't know your own mind and have chosen the wrong boyfriend. She likely assured herself this wasn't the case in her own way, and he either hid it well or she's just learning more about this dynamic and was fooled. She's likely feeling very hurt, stupid, and betrayed, and the appropriate response in the moment was to comfort her. Later, if you must, you can offer some ways you think it was given away, but you needed to separate your resentment towards him from her experience of a loss of a friend. You failed to support her and you owe her an apology. Also, if you said the "girls are slower" thing, no wonder she didn't take your word for it. That's insulting and inaccurate. What is accurate is that he likely behaves differently when you're around and you clearly didn't like him, so it's easy to chalk it up to an interpersonal thing. For example, my friend doesn't like my boyfriend, not that my friend doesn't like that I have a boyfriend. Am I the jerk for being sad that my girlfriend never invites me? Me and my girlfriend have been together for 8 months. Neither of us have a real circle of friends, and it's always been something that's really got to me because I've always felt lonely, and being 27 with few hobbies, I genuinely have no way to make new friends. Recently, my girlfriend met up with a couple to take the dogs out, and every week she's been to theirs at least once to hang out. It really upsets me because I just get stuck at home doing nothing and I've never even been invited. I tried talking to her about it the last time, but all I got was, "I want my own friends." I'm not excluding you. Make some of your own. Despite her knowing it's basically impossible for me to do so, it takes a lot of mental effort for me to even leave the house other than for work or to take her or the dogs out. It's been really upsetting me and it puts me in a crap mood constantly, more for the fact that I don't even get asked if I want to go. When, on the rare occasion I go anywhere, I always ask her if she wants to go. I just feel like an idiot because it really upsets me that I'm just left out. Everyone sucks here. You're kinda at fault for expecting to be friends with whoever your girlfriend befriends. I wholly, completely understand how difficult it can be to make friends, but that doesn't mean that you can leverage that responsibility out on your girlfriend to handle. Your issue is your own to handle, and I say that with the best of intentions, as again, I very much suffer from similar issues myself. It also sounds a bit odd on her end, that she is being as standoffish as she is with your being involved whatsoever. Avoiding even an initial, "and this is my boyfriend," type of quick meet and greet for a dog walking get-together sounds slightly off to me. I wouldn't expect to be involved to any particular degree, as you're definitely not entitled to that, but her standoffishness and rationale to any involvement whatsoever seems weird to me, but I am also neurodivergent, so please take that with a grain of salt. You're the jerk. I understand your feelings, but everything you mentioned in this post, wanting friends beyond your girlfriend and struggling to do so, is also true to your girlfriend. You of all people should understand her. Could she have been more upfront about it? Sure. But that doesn't give you the right to demand her social circle because you don't have your own. It won't change the codependency towards your girlfriend you feel, and will only take her a step backwards. Am I the jerk for asking my girlfriend to stop wearing random religious symbols? My girlfriend was raised in a very small religious group that, among other very bizarre things, that all religions were all connected, so anyone that was a part of any faith would be a part of all of them. I'm not really explaining this right because I don't really understand it myself, and as she would even say, it's insane to begin with. This extended to believing that any religious text or symbol also fully belonged to them. I don't know that much more about it except that she had to go through special therapy when social services removed her from the home, and that she has a lot of various religious stuff from the time that she would have stolen from her parents and sister. Obviously I'm not criticizing her collection. I mean, it's weird, but everyone has their ways of coping. The problem is that she has no issue wearing it, and wearing pieces that would conflict with each other. As far as I know, some of those symbols are things you should only be wearing if you're part of that faith, and some of them can't be worn together at all. I've had to field comments about how offensive it is, and I have to agree. I've tried to talk to her about it, but all she says is that it's okay because she's reclaiming it from her childhood and that wearing them make her feel more confident because she won them from the group she was raised in. I asked her to talk to her therapist about it, but he backed her and said that it was okay. I tried to be understanding, but it's just getting embarrassing. Am I really in the wrong here? Have you ever seen the coexist bumper sticker? Unless it's a specific symbol with history of racism behind it, thinking of binders worn by Hindus, the feather war bonnet worn by some Plains native tribes, which are not even religious symbols, as I would think of them. Who's to say she can't wear it? So she mixes a cross and a Star of David. Okay, or a pentacle with a crescent and star. She's not harming anyone by wearing jewelry. So, unless you can provide more info to indicate she's perpetuating racism, colonialism, or religious intolerance, gonna have to say you're the jerk. Just because it's weird to you doesn't make it wrong. No jerks here. You're allowed to be uncomfortable with it. You're allowed to ask her to stop. That doesn't obligate her to stop. It is a weird thing, but if someone's bothered by it, that's their problem. Their religion can dictate what they wear. It doesn't get to dictate what other people wear. Am I the jerk? My girlfriend is mad that I didn't clean up the pee that her niece's puppy made. Here is some information. Me and my girlfriend have 2 dogs that live with her sister and her sister's 2 kids for little over 6 months. One of those kids is 16 and has a puppy. This puppy poops and pees everywhere. It's bad. And the worst part is the kid trusts the dog even after the fact that one week he pooped and peed inside the house 5 days in a row. She isn't watching the dog. Well, I stepped in pee as I was getting ready to take our 2 dogs outside. I forgot to mention it to my girlfriend's niece who owns the puppy that night, and it didn't get cleaned up. Then the morning rolls around and I get a text where she's mad I didn't clean up the mess. I told her I'm not going to clean up another dog's mess that isn't mine. I told my girlfriend that her niece is fully responsible. My girlfriend got mad and started bringing up old issues that I thought we were past. Now she's threatening to kick me out of the house, which I think is basically breaking up at this point because I don't want to go back to not living together. Anyway, am I the jerk? You're not the jerk for wanting a 16-year-old to take responsibility for house training her dog so that there is not poo and pee everywhere. However, you are the jerk for just leaving the mess on the floor. That's not cool. Everyone sucks here. You're the jerk. Wow. You left pee on the floor because it wasn't your dog's pee? Gross and lazy, dude. Update from OP. So, after reading a lot of the comments and having a conversation with my girlfriend, I should have cleaned up the mess when I found it. It would have been quick to pick it up and then tell, hopefully my future niece, that her dog left a mess in the living room. I totally forgot to bring it up to her in time. That's my fault. Soon, my girlfriend and I are moving out, and I can't wait to get out of this weird dynamic where I have to buy food for someone else's kid or I don't have to worry about stepping on the way they are raising their kids. Thanks, everyone, for being honest and showing me their perspectives on the situation. P.S. I'm not a pee gremlin. I am a jerk.